Abigail of the Black Book Space. I'm out here at one of my favorite parks. I'm going to be talking about 5 things that I have noticed changes in my life after reading the book Rest is Resistance. So if you're interested in hearing more, come back and join me in a moment. Hey you guys, you gotta check this out. I want you to see my view right now. It's so beautiful. Things like this, I feel like I've always really appreciated, but reading this book has helped me appreciate it a lot more. So I'm going to talk to you about 5 things that have changed in my life since I finished this book, right? I just finished this book about a week ago, but I can definitely say some things have changed. So I've been really fortunate, right? Because I'm off work last week, a couple weeks ago, because I'm a teacher, right? So I had the time to really read this book and incorporate it into my life. So the first thing, I have begun to see the world differently. In the sense that I've begun to slow down a lot more, right? So when I'm out somewhere, like I'm at the park, I didn't rush to get here today. I took my time, walked around a little bit, had to find a good spot, things like that. So I see the world differently. A lot of times before, and I know a lot of us do this, I would have things going on with people and I'd feel like, okay, well, they're doing this on purpose, doing this to aggravate me, they are upsetting me. These days, I really, like after reading this book, really intentional about the way I speak to people and the way I set boundaries. So I think a lot more about what I'm going to say before I say it. I know that has come about because I've been resting a lot more. When you're tired, sometimes you pop off on people you don't mean to. It just happens. This book really taught me the importance of rest, so I'm no longer doing that, or at least I'm doing it a lot less, and I'm really thinking about how I'll respond to people. Because when we're online, sometimes we just come across like pretty crazy, because no one's there, it's not in person. A lot of the things we say online we wouldn't say in person. I can be one of those people, especially when people aggravate me online, because you know what happens. You know it does. But after reading this book and resting more, I've become a lot more intentional about the things I say, right? So, number 2, the second thing this book has taught me to do is to rest a lot more and be intentional about when I'm resting, right? So, that means I am thinking about different ways to incorporate rest in my life. I might get up in the morning rather than getting up and going right then. I get up a little bit earlier so that I can do some scripting, or I get up a little bit earlier so that I can do an extra meditation or some stretching. All of those things are considered rest to me, so I make sure to do those things on a regular basis. Alright, so number 3, I talked about resting more, but also being intentional about that rest. If I say that I'm going to rest, then that means I'm going to lie down, or I'm going to do yoga, I'm going to go to a dance class. If I'm considering that rest that day, that means that I'm not in my phone. I'm being intentional about that time because that time is sacred and that time is really important. This book really talks about making time for that rest, and not just resting so that you have more energy to go do something else, but resting for the sake of resting for the sake of healing, resting for the sake of pulling away from this racist society that we live in. Can I say that? I'm going to say that. That's what this book is about. So if you're looking to get deep and you're into things like law of attraction, but from a perspective of someone who's experienced the oppression that happens in this society, then Rest is Resistance is definitely a book that you should check out, because that's exactly what she's talking about. So number 4, I am now open to new possibilities. Because I'm resting more, I get the time, my mind gets the time to chill, comes up with all these new ideas that I hadn't even thought about before, right? And I write them down as soon as I can. So it has opened me up to new possibilities. The possibility of expanding my self-care party, which if you have not heard of the self-care party, where have you been? The self-care party is an exclusive, very fun, very cool event that I try to put on once a month, which includes some meditation, Reiki meditation session, and a belly dance session. I'm considering that as a form of rest as well, right? Rather than a form of work, rather than an event that I have to put on and this many people have to be there and I have to have it on this day. It's a form of rest for everyone who's involved, including myself, right? Rest to me is fun. It's opening me up to new possibilities of having more fun, which is what life is about. From my perspective, I like to have fun. I like to enjoy enjoy myself. And resting more is allowing me to do just that. So the fifth one, this one's huge. I've noticed my memory is a lot better when I'm more intentional with my rest. When I'm taking that time to take deep breaths in. I'm studying for a really important exam, and I've really hit it hard this break and decided to go for it again. I have noticed that I retain a lot more information than I have in the past. Okay, so rest can mean a lot of things, a lot of different people. It can mean taking a break from certain types of food that you eat, listening to different types of music, taking a break from certain people, which is huge. And of course, laying down, taking a nap, going to bed earlier, just resting in the middle of the day, going out to your favorite park. Rest means so many things, and I've had to really define that for myself, and I found it to be such a rejuvenating and wonderful experience. I've really enjoyed it a lot. So again, the 5 things that I've noticed: I see the world a lot differently, I rest a lot more, I'm more intentional with my rest, and I'm open to newer possibilities. So many things are opening up for me, and it's because I'm resting more, and my memory has gotten a lot better. So those of you who have read this book, I would love to know how this book has changed your life. It's called Rest is Resistance. If you don't have the book, I would highly encourage you to get it, read it, talk to somebody about it, give it to somebody, give the book to someone as a gift. All of those things. Just incorporate more rest into your life. It's so nice. It's so important. And it's truly the way that we should be living. So with that, I'm going to let you go. And I hope that whatever you do today is something that brings you joy. Goodbye.